Andy Crestodina is closing out the day. So Andy, in my mind, has done really good positioning. So if I think, oh, content marketing is, Andy is like #1 there in my mind. So good job there. So Andy's going to tell us how he did it.
Okay.
The stage is yours.
I am honored. I'm excited. I'm feeling the pressure because it's been such a great day already. But this is a topic that's really, really fun to talk about. Let me share my screen. You're seeing it now. Hopefully I look good, sound good. Thought leadership. We hear it all the time. A lot of companies, you say like, oh, content marketing, tell me about your goals. Thought leadership, as if that's the whole point. I think we need to be more specific about that when we talk about thought leadership. So I collaborated with SurveyMonkey and Michelle Lynn, you just heard from, on a survey piece Michelle was talking about, to get to a better definition, to really define this topic of thought leadership, because I don't think there was good answers out there. This is going to be an SEO presentation, but I'm also going to present you the research. I'm going to connect all the dots and give you 5 specific strategies for growing thought leadership with SEO outcomes. This is Edelman's definition. I don't like it. Thought leadership is just free deliverables organizations or individuals produce on a topic they know a lot about and feel others can benefit from having their perspective on. Doesn't include products and service content. That's the definition of content marketing. I'm not impressed. I think we can find a better definition of thought leadership, and I promise at the end of this I'm going to give you one based on data. My thesis here is that thought leadership is really the intersection between 3 specific things. 1, having a strong personal brand. 2, taking a stand on things. And 3, of course, you've got to be an expert. If that looks familiar, this may take you back to college. Remember Aristotle? Remember the 3 modes of persuasion? Logos, pathos, and ethos. That's the same thing. Ethos, have a strong personal brand. Pathos, take a stand up for something. Logos, be an expert on the topic. If you broke these down to like actual personas, you might conclude that there's something like this: the influencer, the key opinion leader, and the subject matter expert. And I'm saying now that you are not a thought leader unless you are in the middle and actually cover off on all 3 of those tactics. To connect it to a specific thing, and perfectly, thank you, Derek, to go to connect that dot to what we just heard about content strategy and SEO. I'm going to relate this to SEO. I've done SEO for 20 years. SEO has 2 main search ranking factors, of course: authority and relevance, as in links and keywords. A lot of what we just heard about was domain authority, so I don't really need to talk much about domain authority. I think just looking at the questions and comments, you guys are kind of up to speed on that. Generally, though, very high level, it's a proxy metric that software companies create to estimate Google's own metric, which was called PageRank. When spelled with a capital D, capital A, it's Moz. When spelled with the domain rating was Ahrefs. It's authority score. I got that wrong here. This slide's up wrong. Authority score is the SEMrush metric. Basically, bottom line, it's the likelihood that pages on your site will rank. It also measures the value of a link from another site to you. That's basically the two things that it does. Okay, number 1, thought leaders have expert insights. What are we talking about? They conduct original research. Thank you, Michelle. They have new ideas, and they also go deep in content. They write books. The survey showed 480 marketers responded that experts in a field make the best thought leaders by a lot. Okay, what kind of content? Educational how-to content makes effective thought leadership, right? Research reports, evaluation of trends. 71% of our respondents said that purely educational content can be thought leadership. I disagree. I think that you have to have that. You have to also take a stand. But let's go deeper on the research topic and specifically connect it to SEO outcomes. Original research. This is not a new study, but I find data to support it every time I look. This is Steve Rayson from BuzzSumo. We just mentioned, Derek talked about it a bit ago. Steve Rayson did some analysis and found that after looking at 1 million articles, that most of them get no results, as in no shares and no links, or very little. But in the end of this research piece, he concludes, and this blew my mind and I will never forget it: if you want to create content that achieves a high level of both shares and links, then you need to concentrate on 2 things: opinion-forming authoritative content or well-researched and evidence content. Let me paraphrase for Steve. It's either strong opinion and original research, which we're already going in that direction. This has been supported year after year, study after study. High growth firms are 3 times as likely to publish original research. not weird, go check Google Search Console for your site. If you've ever published research, you'll see it's probably at the top of the list for number of linking root domains. Or put any brand into, Ahrefs or Moz or SEMrush, and you'll find that these are the pages that attract links. CXL is an awesome example of this. I checked a minute ago. Huge results from the original research. 2 quick examples from my brand. What's the lifespan of a website? How long does a website last? What's the average lifespan of a website? I couldn't find an answer. There wasn't a good credible answer. So my job instantly became to go create a credible answer. So I basically produced this piece of content after taking a bunch of the top websites, putting them in a spreadsheet, giving it to a virtual assistant. This is not survey-based research. This is observable data. Who looked at all of these sites in the Wayback Machine to determine the interval after which they did a major redesign. The answer? 2 years and 7 months. The top marketing websites redesigned every 2 years and 7 months. That is a new piece of data that made my site the primary source for this data. And that is an eminently citable, linkable soundbite statistic that Wikipedia spontaneously linked to. Thanks, Wikipedia. That previous question about no follow, do follow, I do get that. I understand that this is a no follow link, that it's not an equity passing link, but I'm trending in the right direction. That, again, BuzzSumo found that most articles nobody ever links to. There's 100 links to this website, at least. I could update this, it's probably more. Second quick example. What features are standard on websites? What are the standard features? Are there any? What are they? Same process. Took a bunch of websites, gave it back to the virtual assistant, created columns in the spreadsheet, right? To go in, show which sites have which features, publish this graph. These are the standard features on websites. Based on my criteria, I'm saying 75% or more of them have it. That's a standard. 50% or more have it. That's a web convention. This piece of content ranks number 2 for the phrase web design standards, ranks above the standard setting body of the internet, the World Wide Web Consortium. Not weird. They're not serious about SEO over there. And that page has attracted more than 100,000, probably at this point, maybe 200,000 visits to it. Not bad. It is keyword focused. It's optimized for web design standards. And hundreds. Remember, most pieces of content get nothing. That's one piece of content that gets hundreds. I'm just giving you quick, and these aren't even my best examples. I have many others. How original research attracts links like nobody's business. Why? Because it is a citation, because you're in their bibliography, because you made something that supports everyone else's assertions. How do you do it? Ask yourself this question. What do people in your industry frequently say but rarely support with evidence? What is the frequently asserted but rarely supported thing in your industry? Find the missing statistic, right? Find and publish and promote the missing statistic. Does everyone do this? Nope. This is Michelle's research. Only 47% of brands publish original research in the last 12 months. That number sounds very high to me. I'm kind of skeptical. Why don't more people do it? Because it's a lot more work. This is the most important and least scientific chart in this presentation, and it is important. This is the game. This is what we're all out there doing, right? You're trying to get the 100x results, right? All results are on an exponential curve. Not surprising, not weird. Every report, go look at every report anywhere in digital. It's all an exponential curve, right? The top 1% get like massive outsized results. So if time and effort are linear, do anything possible. We're always trying to find the 10x effort that gets 100x results. That's the game, right? I will do that all day long. Why do we spend so much more time per piece? Why do we create all these graphics? Why do we make videos? Why do we publish original research? Because the results are like 100 times as good. Tactic number 2, write a book. I'm telling you how to differentiate. I'm not saying thought leadership's easy. I actually have no shortcuts for you. I'm telling you the hardest way to do stuff, but I'm trying to get you the 100x results if you should choose this path. 32% of respondents said authors make the best thought leaders. Here's how you do it. You first elbow, right? Not your physical elbow, but your LBOW is your lifetime body of work. It is the sum total of everything you've ever published and recorded over your career. Everything your brand has ever published and recorded over its career. Now, I track all these things myself. I keep them on a spreadsheet. This is everything I've ever written. I think right now it's like 470 articles total, my lifetime body of work. I put them on a chart. I can see, like, you can see my era of guest blogging. You can see my more recent forays into video. All you need to do is it's an awesome exercise. Do it with a bottle of wine. Make a list of everything you know in outline format on a topic. Awesome, right? Awesome intellectual challenge. It's already fun. Then look at your content and ask if you've covered off on all those topics yet. Are there big gaps? Are you missing stuff? And then finally, turn that into the book. You're going to blog into a book, right? You're going to see if there's gaps. You're going to fill in the blanks. You're going to gradually keep publishing. You're going to be writing this over time. I just finished the book Atomic Habits. Excellent book. James Clear, is that his name? It's like a first edition book, and he's talking about the feedback that his audience gave him in the first edition. How? Because that content was published long ago. It made it a better book even before it went to print. This was my lifetime body of work. It was on my wall for 6 months. It's Post-it notes. Looks quite simple. A lot of thinking went into this. Turned it into an outline, which evolved into the table of contents. Self-publish, right? Freelance designer, freelance editor. Boom. Published it. This is a piece of content that generates revenue. Yes, the laws of physics reverse if you do content marketing long enough and hard enough. Eventually, it starts making money for you. It's weird, right? And the book is a link magnet. Back to SEO, the book is a link magnet. Book pages crank. They drive tons of links. They're very easy to build links to. Links appear to them naturally. This is Andrea Fryreer. Just the other day, she published an article in Content Marketing Institute. Naturally, the author bio talks about her book. It's actually a forthcoming book if you look closely there. She's building links to a page, building links and building buzz for a book that's not even out yet. Other opportunities, you get an author page in Amazon's Author Central. Go ahead and link to the rest of your stuff. Link from Amazon, possibly a no-follow link. I'm honestly not even sure. Not really worried about it. Google Scholar. I don't know anybody talking about Google Scholar, but if you published a book, go look in Google Scholar. There might be a bunch of citations to it that it's already scooped up. All you need to do is to claim your profile. Right now, the knowledge panel on the site is going to say Scholar next to Instagram. It's going to get an icon in your knowledge panel if people search for your name. This is why thought leaders are different. They're not just teachers. I'm not a thought leader. I just am an educator. I like to publish. I like to teach. It's all how-to stuff. I never publish any op-ed content or opinion. Pep is an awesome example of this. Will Reynolds is an awesome example of this. People that take a stand, like they believe, they're gonna stick their neck out and plant a flag and draw a line in the sand, and they're going to be for something and against something. That is strong opinion. They are not afraid of controversy. They are the opening keynotes, right, at conferences. They're the inspirational speakers. The effective thought leadership content, opinion and commentary came out. 55% of our respondents said that opinion and commentary were effective thought leadership content. Not nearly as high as the numbers about educational, but still. Do thought leaders have to have strong opinions? Yes. But do they need to be controversial? No, not necessarily. I went to a conference, true story. I went to a conference last session. I don't know how I got in the room. It was like in this penthouse. There were like 30 of us, and they had Seth Godin come in, and I, 30-minute amazing presentation, 30 minutes of Q&A. I'm the first with my hand up. Before I even finished the question, he heard me start to talk about thought leadership. His face lights up, and he wants to give this answer. And I start writing down as fast as I can. Like, what is thought leadership marketing? Is it a thing? He says, thought leadership always creates tension. It's about making assertions. You have to be willing to be wrong. You can be certain that some people will disagree. I'm on Seth's team here. I think that thought leadership really is about taking a stand. I think that a lot of us are just teachers and not necessarily thought leaders, and that's great. You don't have to go down this path of thought leadership. But if you do, to do it seriously, you've got to actually make an assertion and stick your neck out. Strong opinion content. Watch this. 53% of respondents said having a strong opinion is essential. Anyone ever heard of Basecamp? Anyone ever heard of its founder, Jason Fried? Columnist, Wired magazine, best-selling author. Went to high school with the guy, actually. He searched for his brand. He saw an ad above his brand. He got cranky. So he made his own ad that said, I didn't want to make this ad. We're the #1 search result. But this company lets other people advertise us against, using our name. Look at that. He tweets it, and then 13,000 people start talking about it. Now, granted, to Derek's point, Jason has a big audience, right? He's got a strong personal brand and a big platform. We're going to talk about that in a second. But he did something that few of us do, partly explaining, right, which is cause and which is the effect, partly explaining why he is has such an audience, because he'll do stuff like this. He literally tweeted it, and then boom, CNBC and hundreds, thousands of other websites start talking about this shakedown, right? About how, here's a business owner who says that Google's shaking him down by letting other people advertise on his brand. Basecamp shakedown, 23,000 URLs are talking about the Basecamp shakedown. Put it into a link tracking tool. I've got it here in Moz. Look at that. Boom. Anyone else know of another tactic that can win you 1,000 links organically? Like, wow, only possible, inaccessible to anyone except those that take a stand, take a chance, and that plant a flag. Just, can you do it? Here, if you want to try, here's how. What do you believe that most people would disagree with? Even better, I'm going to challenge you now. What questions are people in your industry afraid to answer? That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. I gave this presentation to it was at a conference, and this woman came up to me afterwards, and she was like from a zoo, and she said, "Andy, I know you're right. It's really hard, but everyone at the zoo is wondering, are these animals happy?" The brand that publishes that, you can just imagine, right? You can imagine the headline. You can imagine the link-worthy, news-worthy splash you could make. If you're not ready to go there yet, I've got another way to make it even more, a little easier. Just don't soften your writing. Look at this article. Fix your funnel. The 15 things to remove from your website immediately. I make the case that you should never, no one should have social media icons in their header. You'd be an idiot, right? Why put big exit signs, candy-colored exit signs on the top of your website? That'd be a terrible idea. Get this crap off your website. Look at this, 136 comments on this article, including Acacia, who says, "What's surprising is his sanctimonious tone." I was looking for it, right? I'm ready for you, Acacia. I knew I was taking being more assertive in my language. But look at Curtis, right? Previous comment right above. "You've instilled hope into my young, ambitious designer heart. You're trying to trigger strong emotion." That article had like 5,000 shares. So all you got to do in this case is to not write something like, "Best practices to maybe consider changes that could possibly improve the results from your website." No, damn it. Fix your funnel. It stinks. 15 things to remove from your website immediately. It's just a matter of assertion, right? Like, don't soften your language. Remove all that qualifying stuff. Final point. Thought leaders have strong personal brands. They have followings, not necessarily social. They're cited by others. They're influential. You do not have to even be a person, according to this. Feel free to discuss amongst yourselves. Can a brand be a thought leader? 70% said yes. I'm not so sure. That's a great topic for discussion. When you do have a personal brand and you search for that and you see your personal search results page, here's Mark Schaefer. Wow. Look at this. That's SEO. That's SEO. If you do see this for yourself or an executive at your company, claim that knowledge panel. That'll let you add profiles. I don't know anything else that it lets you do, but you can add other profiles in here. This is where I mentioned Google Scholar will show up if you do it. And look at the demand, right? Look at the demand for that. So one of the things that happens here, if you put yourself out there, is that the bio page for anyone that takes this, that goes down this path, their bio page ends up becoming a magnet for links. You can make that happen automatically, right? Directly, not a dotted line to authority, but a straight line to authority by contributing to other people's websites. My approach for this is to take a look at the phrases that you're ranking for, maybe sort them by their monthly volume, estimated monthly volume. Are they really popular phrases? Or maybe sort them by the change in rank. Are these things starting to decline in rank? Or in analytics, just go to the Search Console reports and choose a date range before and after in landing pages, and you'll see which of your pages has declining search traffic. This is free, takes 5 seconds to report, and look, you can see exactly which of your pages need the nudge, need a little boost, link, nudge. And then because you've built a network and because you've collaborated with other people on content, and it happens, it pops up, people ask you to contribute to something, looks like this. Hey, could you contribute to my post? You could look at the value of that potential link if you like, and then go see which of your posts that you just identified that could use the benefit the most. I'm going to build a link to exactly the post that needs the link the most because it's the post that's starting to decline in rank. It's the post that has high search volume, that targets a key phrase for which the search volume is high, and the rank is starting to decline. So now I'm going to say, oh, that would be a good post to build a link to. So I'm going to reach out, I'm going to respond to this contribution request and say, sure, how about something on this topic? Sounds great, buddy. Now my contribution has a link back to the article that I referenced an article in my contribution. When that post goes live, I just go back and see, right? I'm putting links into contributions into other people's websites through contributor quotes. Sometimes actually just through an image source link building if your content has images in it. And then I go track it and then make sure to continue that tactic here. Do that 100 times a year, and you are going to strategically, surgically build links to exactly the content that could use the link benefit the most and preserve, right? Maintain, preserve. Last tactic, giving presentations, kind of a feedback loop. if you build a speaker bio page that is optimized for a key phrase, and then listen for mentions of your name or of your brand, Talkwalker Alerts is a free way to do it. It's going to send you an email if your brand is mentioned or your name is mentioned. A better tool for this would be like a SEMrush. I think all the SEO tools have this. You can see if the name is mentioned, and then go look at the page where the mention happened. And if the link on the name is to a social media profile, bummer. You don't really need to be building links to Twitter. That's not helping you at all. You want to build links to your speaker's bio page. So reach out, gratitude. This is called link reclamation. Make a quick request. They update that. I even tell people like, hey, it's kind of an SEO thing, but would you mind? It'd be a big, I'd be very grateful. Quick response. Hey, we updated that. Ah, good. Now that link is going to my speaker's bio. Building links to a speaker's bio page will improve the ranking potential of that. And that speaker's bio is optimized for topic plus the word speaker. Minutes ago, I searched for content marketing speaker. I'm ranking number 2. It works. The impact, hundreds or more than 100 a year. And then the quote request there, it's actually driving opportunities to speak. So that definitely works. Concluding, wrapping up, what is thought leadership? Can anyone do it? 47% of our respondents said that they personally strive to be a thought leader. I love this. It's beautiful. People wanting to be a leader in their lives, people wanting to help others. Leadership is about service and perspective. So this is a very encouraging statistic, I thought. These are the essential qualities of thought leadership, according to our respondents. I'm going to combine them into a new definition as promised. You must clearly communicate challenging new ideas and back them up with data and have a strong point of view. These are the nice to have qualities of thought leadership. I'll combine those into an answer and we'll add that to our definition, the nice to haves. Be a likable person who publishes consistently and doesn't shy away from controversy. I've got 1 minute left. I get this question a lot. How do I get more speaking opportunities? I got a better question for you. I wouldn't ask it that way. I don't think that's the goal. I would step back a little bit and ask yourself this question. How can you become a more visible expert? That's kind of the point, right? That's going to get you where you're trying to go if you just ask that. So here's my turbo crash course lightning round list of 15 ways to become a more visible expert. 1, polish your LinkedIn profile to perfection. Because if someone recommends you to contribute to an article, to write a guest post, to produce a video, to give a presentation, 2 seconds later, that person's going to look you up and LinkedIn probably ranks high for your name. While you're doing that, let's do some personal SEO. Google yourself. What do you see? In my experience, people rarely Google themselves. You should all go Google yourselves today. Publish deeper, more comprehensive articles. If you're serious about search, your goal is to make the best page on the internet for the topic. I'll say that again. If you're serious about SEO, in each case, your goal is to make the best page on the internet for that topic. Otherwise, you have no right to rank. Conduct a study. Produce some original research. Publish on LinkedIn. Very powerful. Share more, share deeper, share more often, and record social media videos. We're in a golden age for social media videos. The traction from these is amazing. Just check, use the UTM tracking code and then check the click-through rates. Collaborate with other experts, right? That's called like, you're going to draft off each other. You're going to share personal brand. Offer to speak to classes. Say yes to everything. Say yes to everything. I know a lot of professional speakers that have done nothing for 10 months because they only do paid gigs. I give 4 presentations on Tuesday, $0, 800 people total in attendance. Start a meetup, bring people together, start a meetup, start a mastermind group, costs nothing. Find experts who love that. Write for everybody. Don't just write for your own site, write for lots of websites. You saw my guest posting era there, right? I wrote 80 guest posts over 18 months. It did amazing things for my network and for my writing skills. Write every day. Get up, get on the exercise bike, get off, and then write. That's how to have a good day. Track your lifetime body of work. That tracking will motivate you, keep you on track, make it visible. Again, thinking about Atomic Habits, that book by James Clear. Excellent, highly recommended. And bottom line, end of story, learn something useful and then go teach it. You're going to have a rewarding life that way. That's good for you. It's good for everybody. That's what the internet needs. And that's who wins in the long run. I don't honestly care about thought leadership as much as just being a helpful person and being a teacher, I think is... there's equally, there's great glory in just being a helpful, useful internet citizen. You don't have to go down this path of, slaying dragons and taking on the world if you choose not to, but teach, please teach. So what I got for you, Pep. Coming back.
What a fine job you did. So very good. And I agree with so many things you said. When I teach people how to do their social media, first thing I say, have strong opinions. Instead of saying, sometimes some people, when they're upset, they say silly things. Just say, people say stupid shit. You know?
You're so good at that. You're one of my best examples for that. I talk about you that way, and your social accounts are awesome to follow for that way. Will too, right? Will Reynolds too.
Yeah, and I mean, lots of people we could cite here. So, also let's do questions. Any advice for creating thought leadership content when our clients are held to legal standards in what they can say?
I have very little experience in contributing content in any of those highly regulated industries. I know that it's for this reason that people in those industries choose not to have to put disclaimers on everything. But even companies in highly regulated fields are able to produce original research, right? I don't think that strong opinion may be out of the question, and that's why it's partly why it's so rare, and partly why it's a great opportunity for everyone else, is because few people are willing to do it. But just publish studies. Publish studies. What are the frequently asserted but rarely supported statements in that field, whatever field it is? There's other people are doing it. Put a top brand in your category into any tool that tracks links, and you'll see what they have done. Almost inevitably, it's going to be original research. Should still be tons of opportunities.
Totally. And opinionated doesn't mean that you have to be offensive. Don't be like me. All right. Dorian. Oh, well, actually, Justin is asking a better question here. For new brands just starting, is it still a good idea to take strong stances, or is that better reserved for someone with clout to begin with?
Isn't that funny in a way? I think a lot of people say, well, I'm a big brand, I can't do that. Some people say, I'm a small brand, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Why do small brands want to be big and big brands want to be small? Like they're sort of like, everyone should just try to be more human. So no, point of view is completely independent of the size of someone's network or the fame of someone's brand or awareness or reputation. I don't think that's a factor at all. I do think that small brands in the content strategy approach should probably publish 2 or 3 very large in-depth pieces, maybe original research on their sites, and then get to publishing on other sites. If you're a small brand, a young brand, I've got a chart somewhere, I'll find it. 75. My recommendation is that 75% of your content should be on other people's domains, because you'll get a better audience, you'll grow faster, you'll grow links, you'll improve your, like, where am I going to get the best traction for this awesome thing I made? In a lot of cases, if you're a young brand, that's going to be on other sites. And
I would add here that if you're saying, safe and boring things, you'll never get anywhere. So actually being more controversial is a better strategy to get known. Question: if writing is not your specialty, what's the best way to get started on creating quality content?
I don't know.
Content, Orbit Media, maybe?
No, we're not a content marketing company. I know many of their Animals was here, right? They do that. If you're in SaaS. Yeah, that was Ryan.
Be Omniscient, and yeah.
Sure. Yeah. There's you could outsource. One of the interesting findings we saw in that study was that a majority of respondents said that content or that thought leadership can be outsourced. Pep, do you agree with that?
I can't. I mean, in theory, I think it could be done, but I have never seen it done.
I don't agree. I don't want to agree, but I know that I know lots of people who write thought leadership content as a service for other people. But yeah,
lots of people who rank really well haven't written any of that. Yeah.
That's true.
How do you feel about using a digital PR agency to promote your stuff?
Great. I feel very good about that. I recommend it.
Would you recommend having a speaker page bio on your company page or on your own personal website?
Well, ranking is partly a function of domain authority, which is almost certainly going to be higher on your company's website. So it's far, far better to, you want to put that page in the place where it's most likely to rank, which is going to almost certainly be on your company's website. But at the same time, no reason not to go put a similar piece of content on your personal page and then link from them, to each other. You can build links to those. If you just mentioned you've got 2 sites, you've got a linking opportunity.
Totally. Last question. How do you feel about republishing those guest articles on your own site with a canonical link?
I actually think that a lot of what people consider to be duplicate content is kind of a myth. I don't think that there's any risk even if you don't canonicalize it. I think you can take something. So for years now, I've had a VA take things we publish on our site and copy and paste them in verbatim into LinkedIn. Awesome. Huge new reach, right? Massive amounts of increased visibility. Search ranking impact, 0. Google knows where this thing went live. Google knows where the first version was. I think like a third of the internet is duplicate content or something like that. Like it's like normal. Google's always been deduping search results. It's only like 4 years ago or something, everyone started freaking out about this and talking about duplicate content. But yeah, syndication, excellent strategy. Publishing it on a personal site, probably less valuable than putting it onto Medium or putting it onto LinkedIn. I'd recommend copying 80% of the article, giving it a new headline. After the 80%, put a call to action to go find it on its original source on your company's site, probably. But yeah, syndicate. Why not? Cost nothing and benefits are great.
Thank you, Andy. See you later.
Thank you. This was awesome. Thanks, everybody.